you guys know now who won.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Okay.
And the winner is Caitlin Clark, ladies and gentlemen.
Just hours ago, under the hot lights of Los Angeles' Microsoft Theater, the envelope snapped open, and the roar that followed seemed to ripple clear across the basketball world. Your 2025 ESPY for Best WNBA Player goes to Caitlin Clark. The Fever star didn't just win an award. She carved her name a little deeper into history, edging out perennial heavyweights A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Napheesa Collier for the sport's most talked about trophy.
Caitlin Clark, in her first eligible year, wins an ESPY award for WNBA Player of the Year. This comes as no surprise.
The announcement hit like a Logo 3 at the buzzer. Cameras swung to the tables where stunned faces told 1,000 stories. Wilson forcing a wry smile, Stewart clapping, Collier mouthing, wow. Even the television crew couldn't resist a cutaway to ESPN analyst Andrea Carter, eyes wide, jaw clenched, as if she'd just been cross-upped herself.
Andrea Carter looking like her skin about to fall off. She's so mad that Caitlin won. Andrea Carter is ready to jump out of her skin right now. She hates the fact that Caitlin just won this award.
Then came host Shane Gillis's razor edge roast, leaning into the whole villain debate that's shadowed Clark's season and leaving half the room laughing and the other half shifting in their seats.
When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist fighting black women.
Wow.
Yeah.
That particular joke keeper had people very divided.
Yet the hardware is only the exclamation point on a chapter Caitlin's been writing since she stormed into the league a season and a half ago. 60-plus rookie and sophomore records smashed. First team All-WNBA right out of the gate. A week seldom passes without someone asking whether there's a record for, well, records.
You know, over 60-some records. What was the slogan? Is there a record for records?
When Clark fires from 35 feet, we don't hold our breath because we doubt, but because we expect and still want to savor the moment she rips the net.
She came in and has been spectacular, especially that rookie season.
Of course, the numbers tell only half the story. The Caitlin Clark effect, first whispered in Iowa City, now floats over every WNBA arena. League attendance soared 156% last summer. May 2025 alone drew roughly 400,000 fans, the most packed opening month in 26 years. Viewership followed, jumping past the million viewer mark for regular season broadcasts that once struggled to clear half of that. Analysts trace more than half of that surge directly to Clark's arrival.
Nobody has brought more attention to this league than Caitlin Clark. Nobody has brought more viewership to this league than Caitlin Clark. Nobody has done such a service bringing them out of the basement and into the mainstream other than Caitlin Clark.
On the floor, she still operates like QB1, whipping no-look darts that make opposing coaches clutch phantom clipboards. Think back to July 6, 2024, when New York's super team rolled into Indy. Down 7 with 4 minutes left, Clark ripped down a defensive board, rocketed coast to coast, then threaded a bounce pass between Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones to Aaliyah Boston for the go-ahead layup. That dime ignited a 15-5 finishing kick and wrapped up Clark's first pro triple-double, 19 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, the first ever by a WNBA rookie. One lightning-quick sequence that said everything about her: command, creativity, and cold-blooded timing.
In the game, Caitlin Clark did this. Caitlin Clark swatted JJ Quinterly. She then screamed in JJ Quinterly's face, got the ball, threw an inch-perfect pass to Sophie Cunningham, who sprinted, scored late. And by the way, Sophie Cunningham, when Caitlin got the block, was right beside Caitlin. And you know, she ran the length of the floor. She ran hard, she ran the length of the floor. That is an easy dunk right there, or a layup right there.
The Fever ride that engine, for better or for worse, and when their Ferrari's in the garage, the drop-off is brutal. Since Clark's quad strain in late May, national TV ratings nosedived more than 50%. Indiana, shorthanded, was outscored by 30-plus on back-to-back nights. Fans didn't need advanced metrics to feel the void. The difference was visible in every empty seat that wasn't empty 2 weeks earlier.
The injuries have been crazy. Started out with one quad, moved over to the other quad, started out with the left groin, moved over to the right groin. I don't know who Who's doing the strength and conditioning in Indiana?
Playing hurt became the unintended subplot of her sophomore campaign. Quad strain left, quad strain right, then a stubborn groin that even legend Lisa Leslie winced at when she explained how the injury never truly rests. Every cut, every jab step, a reminder. Still, Clark soldiered through, logging minutes when most would ice up, and logging highlight assists when most would just try to survive the possession.
Caitlin Clark on the court, expectations of the logo bombs. I've been saying this a lot. I think that Caitlin Clark puts a lot of expectations on herself for the expectations of what she thinks people want to see.
That toughness reverberates far beyond Indiana. Front offices eye expansion in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia precisely because ticket demand refuses to flatten out. Media rights negotiations are suddenly 8-digit conversations, and analysts project Clark could accelerate league-wide revenue gains into the billion-dollar territory by the end of the decade if the curve holds. Merch sales spike. Local economies feel a bump whenever the Fever roll into town. Meanwhile, 8-year-olds in school gyms from Madrid to Berlin hoist their first basketballs and shout, "Logo 3!" because that's what the new heroine does.
I really, really hope we see more and more of that as time goes on, and we see less of Caitlin off ball trying to force the ball to her. I'm cool with Caitlin being on the bench. I'm not cool with Caitlin Clark playing shooting guard.
Through it all, Clark still wrestles with expectations, her own, the crowd's, the critics'. Some nights you see her glance at the scoreboard, check the distance, and shrug as if to say, "Fine, here goes," before launching the shot everyone paid to witness. But for every 30-footer, there's a whip-around dime to Aaliyah Boston or a pressure-release screen assist freeing Kelsey Mitchell. Clark has evolved from an incandescent soloist into a full-blown conductor. Everybody eats when number 22 is steering the offense.
I just think that the energy is down. I think that everything that happened recently does, it's a mental game. There's a lot of mental aspects that go into playing the game. And I think that with the rest of the Fever knowing, and Caitlin Clark herself too, she is pretty much the leader of that team.
And that is why July 16th wasn't just an awards night surprise. It was the inevitable coronation of a player who blows past resume lines as if they were half-court markers. The ESPY plaque will look nice next to last year's Rookie of the Year trophy and that Time Athlete of the Year cover. But for Clark, the real prize has always been the platform. To sell out arenas, to raise salary floors, to show little girls that a three-pointer from the parking lot can rewrite a sport's entire blueprint.
Caitlin Clark was absolutely dominant. She took the world by storm in Iowa and continued it.
So while some analysts stew over whether her swagger makes her a hero or a villain, the scoreboard feels pretty clear. Tonight's award recognizes right now, but every record she topples and every young fan she converts sketches the outline of tomorrow. The WNBA's present and its sky-watching future just heard its next rallying cry, announced at center stage.
Just exponential growth of the game, right? She brings eyes to the game so that the next generation can come out and thrive.
Caitlin Clark is still only 23. She's nursing bruises, learning on the fly, and apparently gathering fresh fuel every time someone doubts she can hang with the legends she just beat for this ESPY. If the past 18 months proved anything, it's that she doesn't merely rise to an occasion. She drags the occasion up to her own altitude. Cue the music, warm up the lasers, because the league she now rules is about to get another growth spurt. One logo, 3 at a time.